Hello and welcome back to the last episode of Turok 2 Remastered. Now before we get finished, we gotta beat up the boss, but we might be missing a few keys. I'm not, but you might. So, let's have a quick recap of where they are and how to get them. For the first key, you will need to go to the Port of Adia, to the area where you first found the tech bow. It'll be just up here on the ledge, but you'll need the Leap of Faith Talisman in order to access it. Once you get a hold of that, just get over here and step on the pad, and that's it. For the second key, you will need to go to the River of Souls at the end of the level. Here you'll also find the Leap of Faith Talisman in case you still need it. Break a wall open and then cross through this area. There will be a section of poisonous water that you must avoid. And just continue through the corridors until you reach the Leap of Faith pads, which you'll need to take to cross the dangerous gaps. This is a very linear pathway, so there's no way you could lose your track. Just keep on going until you find a ladder up on a wall. Climb up the wall, and there it is.
Primagen key found.
For the third key, you'll need to go to Death Marshes. Somewhere around the middle of the level, you'll find a cliff with a Breath of Life pad. You'll need to jump down in the water and swim in the underwater tunnel. Make sure you have a talisman for this, because otherwise you'll drown. From here it's a straightforward path. Destroy any enemies along the way, and the key will be waiting for you up on top of the cliff, with the two juggernauts waiting to fight you for it. Once you get a hold of his key, make sure to jump down into the water again to pick up Ultra Health before you go. This will help you out in the future. The fourth key is probably the easiest to find, but not exactly easiest to get to. It's in the Lair of the Blind Ones. At the start of the level, you'll need to go to the left and take the Whisper's pad, which will take you up the cliff. You can only get this talisman in the next level, however, so you'll need to backtrack to this place. Make sure to kill off any enemies along the way, since we will interfere with your ascension, and most likely will kill you if you're playing on hardcore difficulty. And you'll need to drop down into this hole here. Watch out for any enemies along the way. Once the enemies are removed, you'll need to go into this very dark corner. Some kind of light source is recommended in order to see where you're going, like a flamethrower. There will be a cave section which you need to enter to flip a switch. Once you flip a switch, another cave section opens up opposite of the room, where you will find a cave door key. Some spiders will emerge as well to harass you. Pick up the key and put it into the lock, and then make it through the corridor. There will be a few giant spiders along the way. You don't necessarily have to fight them, but if you have the ammo for it, go ahead. You will also find Ultra Health just next to the portal. Make sure to grab it if you need it.
Ultra health. Primagen key found.
The fifth key is in the Hive of the Mantids, and this one's a bit trickier to find since it's not exactly at the end of the level, but pretty close by. In this area with the poison water, drop down and swim through an underwater tunnel. This will take you to where you need to go much quicker than any other pathway. across the floating platforms and up the walkway. Make sure to kill off any opposition along the way. And break down these pods. They're blocking your way to the key. You will need the Eye of Truth Talisman to access this key, since it is beyond an impossible chasm, which you can only cross if you have the talisman, since it will reveal a secret path. There will be some Mantid soldiers up on the cliffs as well, though if you already killed them, they do not respawn. Just go up the passageway, pick up the key, and that's it. And finally, the last key is probably the hardest one to get. It is in the Primagen's light ship, and it requires you to flip 4 separate switches to lower the force field protecting it. The first switch is just here in this area with the Whisper's Talisman. You need to go over to the upper corridor, which will be accessible with the Whisper's Talisman. You'll know you're in the right place when you find an elite trooper guarding a computer. Flip the switch and move on to the next area. In the second area of the level, you will find another switch just next to the exit portal, but it needs the Eye of Truth Talisman once again. You can find it in this level at the end of it. There will be some minor opposition as before. Make sure not to slip off the walkway. In the third area, there will be a leap of faith pad that you need to take to the switch. This one's fairly easy, and you should have the leap of faith talisman by now. If you don't, well, I'm surprised. And finally, in the fourth area, you will find the last switch in the underwater tunnel, just underneath the last power generator. Swim through the tunnel, and you will find yourself in a room with an elite trooper. Eliminate him in any way you wish. I chose the nuke for this one. Might have been a bit of an overkill, all things considered. But yeah, once you knock him out, just flip the switch, and then go back to the lobby. And there you go, the force field is lowered and all the keys are present. This counts as a secret for some reason. I don't really know why. Now that all the keys are present, you just need to put them down on a pedestal here at the front. Once you do that, a cutscene will play and you'll be introduced to the final boss. Make sure you have plenty of ammo for this one. Alright, this is it, the final showdown. In this arena, ammo and health will periodically respawn in set areas, mostly dependent on which weapon you're using and what kind of ammo you're in most need. Anyway, there are 3 specific phases to this. The first one involves your friend here dropping a lot of bombs from the ceiling. They're fairly easy to avoid, but if you do get caught in the explosion, you'll be taking quite the licking, so try not to get hit by that. The second phase involves drones coming out of the hangar base, trying to attack you by ramming headfirst into you. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not, but it seems to be rather effective because they also push you, potentially pushing you out of the arena's bounds. And then the third phase, where Primagen himself drops down to do a little 1-2-1. Then you hurt his weak spots, which are appendages, then claws, and then the face, respectively. He will often retreat to try and regenerate his health. If you shoot him in the face during this phase, he will fail to regenerate health, and well, he won't get anywhere really fast with that idea. You'll need to do that, because if you don't, he will continuously regenerate his health and prolong the boss fight. When the weakness is fully destroyed, you'll need to shoot him in the face again, just to make sure he doesn't regenerate it back. And then the process restarts. You'll fly back to the cockpit and begin the process anew. It is a good idea to get rid of the drones as soon as possible, because not only are they distracting, but they will also continuously pile up. So you could end up with a lot of drones in the area. You probably want to avoid that. In addition, some of the lights on the arena actually damage you, such as the red ones on the edges. I don't really know why, but yeah, they can hurt you. Not a lot of damage is done by them though, so not a big deal. Unfortunately, some health pickups will appear beyond them, so you may potentially be in danger. It's very unlikely though. On the second attempt, Primagen will have a new attack where he will shoot pulsing waves of something or other. It's not exactly a dangerous move and pretty easy to dodge, unlike the one in the Mother boss. But it can be quite damaging. Try not to get hurt. Lock-on weapons seem to be fairly effective, at least in the last attempt from Primagen. But you shoot his face enough, you'll blow half of his brain out, and if you manage to save all the totems, he'll get blown up. Very nice. Though it is a bit interesting that we chose to go this route, because in the comics he didn't die. In fact, he was just... I think they sent him back to his universe, because, you know, he wasn't really a bad guy. He was just misunderstood. Anyway, the game is finally over.
I have been unable to identify the force which conspired against you during your battle with the Primagen. Its form eluded me. While I searched, a feeling of dread washed over me, a feeling unlike any that I have ever experienced. There is a natural balance in the cosmos between that which we define as good and that which we know as evil, light and dark, order and chaos. Although I have been unable to gain any specific knowledge of this being, its energy signature feels as if it exists beyond either fundamental force. And one other thing, Joshua. Each time I scanned this entity's signature, I also detected the energies of the Turok lineage as well. Whatever it is, your ancestors have dealt with it before.
And with that, the game is finally over. That was pretty fun, actually. And the remastering process, while not as impressive as one would have thought, was pretty good actually. And it's nice that it was done, because now you can play this classic on pretty much any system you prefer. In addition, you can also get the GOG version if you like your games DRM free and play wherever you want, whenever you want. There's not much else to say, really. This is a good game, and it still holds up very well, though the remastering process leaves a bit to be desired. I mean, we all did expect a little bit more than just the same thing but working. But I guess that's why it's called a remastering process, not a remake. In any case, it still holds up very well, despite some minor changes, and I would recommend it. Plus, it finally opened up the way for multiplayer action, once again, and modding as well, though modding was somewhat doable before. Nowadays, it's a lot easier, given that the system has been somewhat simplified. But with that said, my name is Walder Richards, and thank you for watching. Later on I'll record some footage for the mods, which I found to be exciting, and we'll look at some of the secret stuff as well, such as how to find all the secrets, and all the cheat modes that are available in the game, and what exactly they do. But that'll be for another time. For now, I'll be moving on to other projects. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.